Eileen, thank you so much for joining us here at CAIS19. It's fantastic to have you here. You've talked a lot about transformation and what's required in a business to make that happen. What do you think are the key things?
I think the key things for transformation are, one, making sure that it's good for the people, that the problem is solving something for those involved in it. Two, a great leadership team that believes in the change that needs to be effectuated and is willing to take the risk and deal with the slings and arrows that will inevitably happen. And then lastly, as a leader, not to just come up with the strategy, but to really see it through its execution, because there's many twists and turns that require, quick decision making and so on and so forth. And if the leadership isn't involved in that, it can become quite frustrating for the team that is already stressed by trying to do something new. They're stressed and excited by trying to do something very different.
And you talked there about it being stressful and exciting. What is transformation like, and what does it require to make it happen?
I think it requires a tremendous amount of determination and resiliency, because it's so easy to do things the way they're done every day. And to look forward to the future with that excitement for that change. And sometimes it's stressful because you're doing things very differently. It's kind of like you're, changing the tires on the car while it's still moving. Is basically the way transformation goes, and that's why I think it's incredibly exciting, and people get very passionate, but there are days of stress.
And I guess as well, it's much easier to rest on your laurels, isn't it? But it's not something Bridgewater like to do.
No, yeah, we believe in excellence, which we think the foundation for that is basically radical truth, radical transparency, and that excellence requires innovation. And you can't rest on your laurels. I mean, I think unfortunately for companies, it's when they're doing their best that they could probably take the most risk, and that's probably the time they take the least risk, because why mess with something that works? And while I'm not a proponent of messing with what works, I am a proponent of how can this be done better, and how can it be done in a way that's better for your clients and for your employees.
Do you think it's unusual for somebody that's been in the industry as long as you have to have that sort of outlook and be that forward thinking still?
I don't know. I just know for me, it's very important for me to be able to continuously learn, to continuously work with people who are, I work with people that are 10 times smarter than me, and learning from them is very exciting, and doing something different that has impact and is better than it was done the day before has always jazzed me up.
You've talked personally about how important it is to you to work with people that you like working with, more important than many things even.
Yeah, when I first started working, I was probably more focused on the financial aspects of the job in terms of what it meant for me. But what I realized quickly is I spend so much time with people. And if you're spending time with a learner who is jazzed about doing something better, it's just so uplifting and energizing versus, the two Muppets in the top of the corner there that are always complaining and, well, do something about it. So I get my energy from being around other people who are energetic and want to do those types of things, and I feel debilitated by people who are, sitting around whining. Whining's probably too strong a word, but people that, are satisfied with the status quo. That doesn't make them bad people at all. And secondly, being around people who are really comfortable speaking their mind is really important to me. Why? I don't have to worry about what you're thinking if I can rely on you to just tell me.
You're not second-guessing people.
No, it's none of this, gee, I wonder what Emma's thinking. Well, I don't have to worry about that because Emma's going to tell me what she's thinking.
And in that sense, you like having a very diverse team too, don't you? Because that's important to you.
Yeah, I think my hypothesis in life is that diversity of thought is what creates great things, what makes life interesting. I can't imagine not being around people who think differently. Like, I can't imagine coming up with a great solution without that. And but I also realize in the short term it's probably easier as a manager to be around people that agree with you, but you're certainly not going to create great outcomes or great solutions by people telling you what you already think.
Where do you think we're at in terms of diversity in this industry?
I think we've made a lot of progress. I mentioned we went from 0.5% senior women in positions when I first started to 17%, and that's great progress on the one hand, but I'm not satisfied with it. It isn't enough. It's not enough women, not enough people of color, not enough people in terms of thinking about different religions, not enough in terms of sexual. It's just not enough.
And do you think that that is the key to getting the best people, to have a company that does have an outlook where they want to encourage both better diversity and perhaps better ESG goals? Do you think that's how you attract the best talent in to work for you too?
I do. I think by creating an environment that focuses on those aspects, as well as people being able to come to work and just be who they are, not who someone else thinks they should be, and taking away that stress of trying to be someone else enables people to be their best self by just being authentic.
And there's a good business case for cognitive diversity too.
Yes. 30 years ago there wasn't a good case, but there is a good case now. Although I think from a practical perspective, it's just commonsensical that differences of thought will get a better answer.
With that in mind, what do you see going forward as the greatest new opportunities for Bridgewater with the team you have, what you've established as your ethos? What do you see as opportunities and challenges in the immediate future?
I think look, Ray is giving us a fantastic company. It has a 40-year track record, great client base, and our challenge is to make sure we don't mess it up, quite candidly. And our opportunity is to continue to evolve it in the future. And so it's both a challenge and an opportunity.
And that evolution includes stuff like AI, like the things we're talking here.
Yeah, I think those are enablers to. To me, what's most important we retain is our corporate culture, our values. And I think if we keep that, I believe that by having really smart people who think differently, who are willing to share their ideas because they're radically truthful to each other, will continue to propel us into the future.
You'll be able to navigate those choppy waters that might lay ahead.
Yeah, and there will be choppy waters and there will be rainy days, but there's always a sun beyond the clouds, right?
A lovely note to end on. Eileen, thank you so much for
sharing
your
Emma.
thoughts.
I really appreciate
Lovely
it.
to
Take
see
care.
You. Thank you.